Hello and welcome to MFS and the Hub. I'm Ross the Boss. I'm here with Flat to the Bone, Casey Scheinfeld. And yes, we're here to talk waiver wire baseball with you. And we're in week 14, Casey Scheinfeld. And I just can't believe how quick this season is going.
It's going quick. We're already July's next week. So
July is next week, Casey Scheinfeld. I'm excited. I'm having barbecues. You'll be on a cruise ship. It's going to be great. I'm so excited to talk about Cal Raleigh. He's breaking records before the All-Star break. For switch hitters, he's broke like Mickey Mantle's record for the most home runs before the All-Star
gosh,
break.
he's been.
He's
right now.
Four home runs in 4 games. That's his streak right now. I mean, this guy is on fire.
Even as a Yankees fan, I got to say he's surpassed in my book Aaron Judge as MVP.
See, that's the thing. I think Judge has to get hurt. God forbid. I think Judge has to go down for a few weeks. I just think there's so much hype on Judge. And
I agree, but I mean, there is not a harder position to play. And he's won the Platinum Glove there than catcher. And he's broken Johnny Bench's record. I mean, it's just insane what he's doing. And Seattle's lineup hasn't been producing that well outside of him. So he's carried them as part of this.
And 4 home runs on a 4 home run hitting streak, Casey Scheinfeld. Unbelievable. I mean, this guy, I know his next name's the Big Dumpster, don't ask. But I really feel that the MVP, I'm looking at the odds on fan what's it called?
FanDuel.
Judge is still like minus 200 and the Big Dumpster is like plus 700. So people still think Judge will win. I mean, if this guy doesn't cool down, I mean, this guy can have 60-something home runs. I mean, in all seriousness.
Yeah.
I mean, and Judge has been slowing down a little bit. I mean, his batting average has been going down the past couple of weeks, and the Yankees have been losing, as we talked about before.
Even to the Reds, for crying out loud.
The Reds lost. Talking about the Reds, they play again today.
Chase Burns is pitching.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Chase Burns. He's the rookie. He's the top prospect in the Reds organization. Yesterday, your bust of the year last year, De La Cruz, he did okay. He was one
single, triple, and a homer. Yeah, he did all right.
He's okay. He sucks. You're right. But what's your thoughts on Chase Burns today? Do you think he'll do well? A lot of pressure on this kid.
It's his first. Obviously, he's the top pitching prospect coming up in the minors. His numbers in the minors have been insane. His trajectory in terms of his advancement through the minors was similar to Paul Skeens, although I'm not saying this guy's going to be Paul Skeens, but he's got a really high ceiling. It's hot in Cincinnati. You know what happens when it's hot
105 degrees there yesterday. 105.
Yeah. It is a home run hitting lineup. Now it's a strikeout lineup too in the Yankees, but I have him on 2 of my teams. I'm not starting today. I want to see how today goes. Now, I was smart enough to start Mizorowski with both of his first 2 starts, and he's 11 innings, 1 hit allowed. So
how many strikeouts? Like 15 or 20?
It's
unbelievable. This guy.
But I also wouldn't be shocked if this guy throws 6 1/3 with 12 strikeouts, 3 walks.
You got to start him after you're done with the show. Just start him for me, please.
All right.
Start him in one of the leagues. At least you got something going.
I will in one. Sure.
Okay. Do it. Okay, good. Because if you don't start him, it's not good. So let's talk waiver wire, Casey. A lot of players are really stepping it up this year. Christian Yelich is really hitting the ball well.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I don't know if you saw Ronald Acuña's home run yesterday. He hit the ball like 400 something. I mean, he killed the ball. And there's a lot of players out there. Corbin Carroll's kind of hurt right now. I don't know how much he's playing, but he was on fire before.
I finally give up after years of addiction to Byron Buxton, and now all of a sudden he's healthy and just raking.
Oh, see, that's the thing. When you give up, and we'll get a waiver wire. When you finally give up on a player and say, "Listen, it was a great run. I can't keep doing this with you."
I probably held on to him for 4 or 5 seasons because the tools were so and you know what? Just because I'm an idiot, they say you sometimes replace one addiction with another one. So I replaced Byron Buxton with Royce Lewis, who is on the IL all the time. So I'm not a good one to gauge that. I'm sure as soon as I give up on Royce Lewis, he'll suddenly become reliable and durable and live up to his tools. But
I'm sure he'd be, yeah, of course.
I mean, somebody with a ceiling like that, I usually give them quite a lot of time, especially if I have IL spots on my roster, because I can keep them there without hurting my depth.
Let's talk waiver wire week 14, Casey. Who's top of your list? Who's under 60%?
Under 60%, top of my list. I was looking him over. At this point, I like Nathaniel Lowe in Washington, the first baseman. He's starting hitting for power again. He had a little bit of a slump there in May and the beginning of June, but over the last couple of weeks, he's doing really well. We talked about, if you remember last year, Colton Cowser was a pretty good player for the Orioles, the outfielder there. He's starting to get regular at bats, and he's starting to do some damage again now that he's healthy. Those are two of the names on the batter side. On the pitcher side, obviously, if Chase Burns is available, you got to scoop him up.
He's 46% last time I checked. Maybe it's more now. But yeah.
And then on the relief pitching side, Dylan Lee has got the save the other night for the Braves. We know Raisel Iglesias was removed from the role. They did have Pierce Johnson in there, but they left him on the bench the last couple times. And now, Dylan Lee has a 1.77 ERA and hasn't allowed an earned run in the last 13 2/3 innings. So they might be finding him in high leverage situations. If you're in a saves and holds league, I think he's a must add. If you're just in a saves league and you're like me, you own Raisel Iglesias in one of those leagues, you can do a lot worse than picking him up.
Dylan Lee, that's a good one. If you asked me at the beginning of the season who he was,
I still couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
So if you walked in my house and said, I'm Dylan Lee, here's sign.
I would ask if he was related to Bruce.
I would say Derek Lee, but Bruce
there you go. Okay.
But Bruce is good also. So, I was looking, and Chandler Simpson, I know 200 at bats, 1 home run. I'm not talking about his power.
No, he's a speed guy, yeah.
He's a stolen base guy. If you're in a league where it's rotisserie and you need stolen bases and maybe runs scored, Chandler Simpson could be your guy. They dropped him to the minors now. I think he's back. This guy flies. This guy is worth to pick up just for the stolen bases. All I'm saying is, if you need stolen bases, and sometimes they're hard to come by because a lot of teams don't run anymore as much as they used to. But I was thinking Chandler Simpson. What are your thoughts on him?
I like him, and I recommended him a lot early in the year. He got sent down, but this guy, he's going to bat 270, 280, and he could easily steal you 50 bags. From what I've watched, I don't see him at the top of the lineup that often, so I don't know what you're going to get in any of the other counting stats. But stolen bases, 4 or 5 stolen bases can be the difference in a roto league of 4 or 5 points total. And so if you can pick up a guy who's going to give you 20 to 25 more bags than anybody else, it allows you to focus on you don't need as many other guys who run for you.
I like that. I was just looking like, okay, I'm good at home runs. I'm good at RBIs. I'm good at runs scored. I'm good. And the only stat that people forget about it, but counts just as much as home runs and RBIs is stolen bases. And that's why it's good to take a speedster like that if you don't have one on your team. There's only, I would say there's only 5 in each league that are really great stolen base people. The rest are just like, between 10 and 20, maybe, But you got your De La Cruz, you got your Otanis that like to steal and people like that.
You had Acuna before the knee injury.
I have a question about Acuna. I didn't check, but you would know offhand. Is he stealing bases again, or is he just?
He's got 3 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
On the season, but those are the first 3 of the season. So, he.
We're on the audience. How many had that 2 years ago? Tell how much.
Wasn't he almost 50-50? Like he was pretty close.
Yeah, it's like something.
He had like 50-80, didn't he? Like it was
like 80 stolen. It was like some crazy amount of stolen.
Let's see. He had 41 home runs, 73 stolen bases 2 years ago in 2023.
Yeah. And so I picked him up. I drafted him this year in a lot of leagues thinking that he would be the same player that he was 2 years ago. But of course I was wrong. But he can still hit. He's just not stealing the bases like he used to. Casey, another player that I was looking at that's been pitching really well is Ryan Nelson of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yes.
He's been throwing a lot of heat, and he's been doing pretty well for the Diamondbacks. And they're starting to win again. They had a big losing streak. Now they're playing pretty good baseball. What's your take on Ryan Nelson? I know he used to throw a lot of gas, give up a lot of runs, but I think he figured it out.
Yeah, Ryan. Don't call me Ryan.
Ryan, that's it. I'm looking at his name.
He's not a big strikeout guy. He has less than a strikeout per inning, which, as we all know who pay attention to Dr. Dan, he likes 9K per 9.
Yeah, he thinks it's some secret with this little formula he has. It's like,
yeah.
A 2-year-old.
But I mean, he's got a reasonable ERA. He's got a great whip. He doesn't have a lot of wins on the year because he's been in. They've moved him back and forth from the bullpen. With Corbin Burns hurt, if as long as he's pitching well, he's going to have plenty of chances. So, if you're like me, I have Chris Sale in a league. He just went down with a fractured rib Wednesday night, or whatever it was the last week, and so you need to replace some of these injured starters. You have to look for these guys who are streaming, who are hot right now, and maybe have some good matchups coming up. So,
well, I like it. Another guy I've been looking at just because in June his OPS is 1.053. OPS in June is Isaac Collins. He's been playing really well.
I don't know enough about him.
I don't either. That's why we're talking about him. It's like I didn't know who this guy was beginning the season. I mean, he was in the minors. I know they brought him up and he's doing well. I know he platoons a little bit, but I think he'll be a full-time guy if he keeps doing what he's doing. I mean, it's
at this point, yeah. I mean,
want to pick him up before somebody else does, and that's the reason people watch our show. Is I think they want to get the jump.
And your cover guy today has been hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, Nick Kurtz. How do you say his last name? How do you say
Nick Kurtz?
Kurtz. So Nick Kurtz, 6. He looks like a linebacker. I mean, this guy is just huge. He's like Aaron Judge big, and he's a monster. And he's finally starting to hit. And he's finally starting to figure it out. And he's hitting bombs. I saw a home run on Sunday that he hit was like across the street. I mean, this guy, if you can pick him up, because Goldschmidt, for your Yankees, I would either drop him or not start him. He's not doing well. He's not playing every day either.
Yeah.
I know you like Goldschmidt. I like Goldie too. Trust me. I always liked him in Arizona. I always liked his game, but he's just not doing well right now for the Yankees. The Yankees, they're benching him. He's not playing, and so if you need another first baseman, it could be a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't I didn't find the waiver wire this week to be very kind of like robust with guys who I'm like, ooh, that's a must-have, but there are pieces that you can look around and find that help. Like you said, Chandler Simpson, if you notice you can gain a lot of points if you bulk up on steals, great guy to add. Some of these if you want RBIs and home runs to catch up, somebody like Nathaniel Lowe can help you there. That's kind of where we're at. You kind of tinker more now than just guys who are going to contribute.
Like a couple of weeks ago when we talked about him, he was just on fire. Now he's slowed down. Now I'm waving him again. Like is McNeil of the Mets, Jeff McNeil?
Yeah, he's slowed down a bit.
He's slowed down a lot. So I know we talked well about him a few weeks ago, but now's the time to get rid of him. I think the hot streak's over. Watch, he has a huge weekend. But McNeil's one of the guys that we talked about, and he was available. I mean,
he's batting 130 in the last week with one home run and one RBI. But
I saw that. So it just shows you, we tell you to pick up somebody, and then 2 weeks later the guy can't hit at all. But that's when you get rid of him and you pick up somebody that we talked about. So, with baseball more than any other sport, I would say it's the game of streaks. You know what I mean? It's a player stays hot for a week and then he gets cold. And
you have certain players with whom you can't take out of your lineup because they're too valuable and you have to ride out that cold streak. But a lot of these guys, you can miss 2 or 3 games of a hot streak because you benched him during a cold streak and it doesn't affect your team too much.
No, but that's why I think baseball is probably the most important sport where you check your lineup every day compared to football, where you can just check it on. Well, you do the waiver wire on Tuesday, then you can put your starting lineup on Friday. You know what I mean? After they get the final like injury report. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With baseball, it's more like, pitching. Who's pitching? Where are they playing? Is there a player on a hot streak or cold streak? There's so many variables in baseball compared to football. It's night and day. Casey, anybody in the minors that is coming up, we talked about Chase Burns, but who are you thinking minor wise? Who's coming up? Who's going to get their big shot that we should be all over?
The last few days since Thursday, there haven't kind of been any new names to pop as far as I can tell. I mean, I talked about Joe Boyle of the Rays. I think he should get a chance soon. I
like Curtis Mead of the Rays too. You mentioned,
yeah.
I think he's playing pretty good baseball too. He's another guy that platoons, but I think he's hitting really well. I think he'll get a shot to play every day.
Yeah.
I really feel Tampa Bay has a really good minor league system. I mean, that's why they don't spend money on free agents. Talking about Tampa Bay really quick. Yonder Franco.
Oh no, what happened now?
Oh, he's going to go to jail for at least 5 or 6 years. Having sex with a minor is not a good thing, Casey.
Generally frowned upon.
Yeah, so right now he's in trial. He'll be sent away. It's a shame too. I mean, you and I both thought he'd be a great shortstop, one of the top 5 shortstops in the league.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he had all the potential in the world.
Now his career's over. It's just, can you imagine drafting him in a dynasty league? And
I know.
It's like a first round pick.
Or trading for him.
Yeah, whatever. But it's just sad that people can just throw their lives away. Oh, well. Casey, anybody else that comes to mind?
No, I think that about covers it.
I do too. I mean, like you said, there wasn't like anybody I'm really like jumping to get, but there's people I'm jumping to drop. McNeil's one of them. Goldschmidt's one of them. I don't. If it's a 10-person league you're in, and you can, there's a lot of first basemen out there. I would get rid of Gold. I wouldn't start him anymore. I would just dump him. That's the way and if he gets hot again, great. Try to pick him up. But right now, there's a lot of good first basemen out there. There's a lot of good talent out there that's on the waiver wire. I was looking at today. It's just a lot of good players are available, and that's why you just got to stay on top of it. And really quick prediction: Cal Raleigh home run tonight? Yes or no?
No. It's always just safer to say no.
It is, but it's no. You're not starting Burns. You don't think Big Dumpster's going to hit a home run.
Big Dumper.
You're Mr. Debbie Downer today. You're like,
I'm sorry. The Yankees are losing to the Reds. It affects my whole week.
Yeah, but the Reds again.
The Reds were a sleeper pick of mine for the playoffs. So
you like Nick Lodolo. You talked about him, and he pitched a good game. So
yep, I do. All right, man.
Okay, Case. So we'll see everybody on Thursday.
12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, and then 4 o'clock on Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific. We'll be with Dr. Dan.
I think he's in the Hamptons, isn't he?
I don't know where he is.
I hope he's in the Hamptons so we can make fun of him. Okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss. That's Casey Vlad.